I want to move forward. I want 2020 to be a year that I make actual movement forward in my business, in my dream, in my health, in my relationships, in my finances, everything. If this is the year that you want that, then let's look at how we do this from more of a spiritual point of view, and like in terms of really trying to understand what all these different things that are happening in our lives, what it represents. So dreams that we're having at night, and just different lessons of why you're being held back. So that's what we're going to talk about.
Live from Los Angeles, California, this is the Lisa Murray Show, and with your host, Lisa Murray.
The day I felt like I really started living.
I don't have enough money to start this business.
I'm so tired. I hate it. I'm working all the time.
I'm not inspired when I'm worried about money.
Life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all.
I'm so sick of all these positive people talking about dreams. What about money? Like, how am I supposed to get the money?
What it's really about, it's about you pursuing what makes you come alive. It's about continually connecting with that energy and just keep doing that. Keep going towards that. That's what it's about. You need to give up. There's too many obstacles. I can't take this shit anymore. Ships are safe in the harbor, but that's not what ships are built for.
It feels really good to be my own boss.
I have dreams, damn it! Hey, you guys, I've missed you so much. You have no idea how much I've missed you. I really love this podcast, and there were so many times I wanted to talk to you guys. I wanted to record a show. There are actually a couple shows I did record. I didn't edit them, but I recorded them, and I just couldn't get myself to edit it. So it was like there was this block. But anyways, that doesn't matter because I'm here right now, and you're listening to me, which means I did edit it. I did get it out. So there, that's life. Life is a bumbling, crazy journey. And as long as we keep going, that's why I always say hashtag keep going. So that's what I'm doing. It's the end of the year, so everybody, thinks about, okay, did I get anything accomplished this year? You kind of look back. If you don't, I really encourage you to look back. Like, it's hard sometimes because you're like, I don't want to look back. There's nothing to look back on. But like, take some time to look back. Because I was like, kind of like, I already know what happened. And then I was going from January and I was kind of going through each month. And then I remembered a lot of things I had forgotten. And I was like, oh my God, that's right. That happened this year. And then this other thing happened this year. And oh my God, I made that other thing happen over there. And I was really excited about it. So it kind of got me really validated, and it got me feeling all kinds of feelings, some good, some disempowering. And so I want to go through with you some of the things that happened to me in 2019. So it's like we're sitting and we're having coffee and we're talking about our year together. So I want you to be thinking about your year, and even get out a calendar, get out your journal. Sometimes I don't have a really bad memory. So sometimes I'll actually go through old text messages or emails, and I'll go back to that date. So let's go back to January of 2019. And I'll look at like, what business was I doing at that time? Who was I interacting with? Who was I having coffee with? What trips did I go on? All that kind of stuff. That helps jog my memory, because otherwise everything becomes, I don't know. I just do this whole thing where I don't remember the whole thing. It's a good thing. It's a blessing to not remember stuff sometimes, but sometimes it's not good. Okay, so I want you to go through your calendar while I'm going through mine. I want you to think about all these different things. And then I want to talk about New Year, resolutions and all that kind of stuff. And I want us together in 2020 there's two things I'm going to discuss with you guys. One is from the hero's journey, going over the road back. And I'll explain that later. But if you want to look at the podcast art, look at the road back, because that's where I feel like I am. And I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you all about that so you can see if that's where you are. But simultaneously, because there's always concentric circles going on, it's not like there's a linear line, like I'm on this path from A to B, because there's all different kinds of things happening on all different levels. But I'm also somewhat in the ordeal still, and I'm also returning with the elixir. I'm also starting on a journey, because once you make an awareness of something, you're starting a new journey. So see how the hero's journey can kind of be a bunch of different things at the same time, different parts of it. But we just need to see it, as a linear representation so we can go, oh, okay, I get this transformation. But, we're transforming in some ways, and some parts are sort of dying off and some parts are being reborn. So for me, there's just a lot going on, which I cannot wait to talk to you guys and use all of this stuff that I've been through in 2019 as elixir as I'm working it out and discussing it with you. Hopefully it'll help you where you're at in your journey, either where you're going and you haven't gotten there yet, or where you've been and you haven't been able to get out of, and you feel totally stuck and you feel unvalidated and there's nobody in your life that understands what you're talking about. Hopefully, maybe something I've gone through will resonate with you. The overall arc for 2020 for the I Have Dreams Dammit podcast is going to be how to get unstuck and where I'm at, specifically the road back. And I'm not going to address it from the self-help kind of angle of being like, set goals and set your alarm early and all that kind of stuff, which is all very, very helpful, definitely. But I really want to go into the whole, depth psychology and deeper meanings and deeper rooted issues that are holding you in the ground of what you don't want. And I want us to explore that and get some wisdom out of that, because I think there's the part of us that's resisting the change is not feeling heard or understood. And so we split off from that part of ourselves because we sort of judge it and we go, oh, you know what? You're holding me back. I'm sick of this. I'm going to just move forward without you. So we'll move forward and we'll do really well for a while. We'll get up early, we'll go running, we'll balance our checkbook, whatever. I mean, does anyone balance checkbooks anymore? I don't know. But, we'll be really good at all these different things. But after a while, we'll just kind of feel sort of this vague feeling of maybe disconnect or unhappiness or something. And so then we snap back. And what is that? And I think we're snapping back to the part of ourselves that we've left behind that wouldn't come with us. And it's sort of like a rubber band. So we go out as far as sort of our anger or our passion will push us. So it could be years, it could be years and years and you're totally successful in a business, but then all of a sudden you realize, what the hell? I feel like something's missing. And it's like the thing that's missing is you, because you're not completely all there because another part of you is still in the past. So I want us to go back together, get that piece. Or if we're there, if you're with that piece right now and you're feeling kind of depressed and you're like, I want to move forward. I want 2020 to be a year that I make actual movement forward in my business, in my dream, in my health, in my relationships, in my finances, everything. If this is the year that you want that, then let's look at how we do this from more of a spiritual point of view and like in terms of really trying to understand what all these different things that are happening in our lives, what it represents. So dreams that we're having at night, and just different lessons of why you're being held back. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about it. I mean, you could talk about it too, but I just won't hear you unless you call in. And we're going to do that. I'm going to try to find a way for you to do that because I really like hearing from you guys. Do you love going to farm stands and buying fresh from the farm produce? Do you have to pull over on road trips to pet a cow? No? Okay, maybe that last part's just me. Regardless, we can all agree on our love for all things agriculture. And how about art? Don't you love watching films about artists, painters, singers, dancers, musicians? Coming in September is the Ag and Art Film Festival in Vacaville, California, and they are open for entries. So if you have a film, a narrative, a documentary, a short or a feature, if you're a student or if you're a pro, this is your chance to show your film to the world. And by the world, I mean Vacaville, California. But still, it's going to be awesome. Visit agandartfilmfestival.com for more information, and you can submit your film exclusively on filmfreeway.com. Hey guys, so just want to let you know about the Ag and Art Film Festival that happened in September. It was the first year in Vacaville, California, and now we are open for entries for the second year, which will take place September 10th through the 13th of 2020 in Vacaville. And right now we're open for submissions, and until January 1st, the submission fee is only $7.07. Usually like film entry fees are like $20 to $50 to $90, right? Or more. I don't know if it's more, but I've seen 90. This right now is $7.07, whether you have a feature film, a short film, or a micro short film. I've added a new category, micro short. Whatever size film you have, it is $7.07 until January 1st. So make sure you go and check that out and enter your film. If you've got like a little film, even if it's a student film, or if it's a really great film, a little, biography about an artist, it has to either feature an artist or art or a farmer or agriculture, or have that as a strong element of the film. It can be a narrative or a documentary. Okay? And I really look forward to seeing your entries. I've already received a whole bunch, and I'm just so excited. We've been open since November 11th. So there's been a lot of really great entries so far. And you can find out about that at agandartfilmfestival.com. That's AGANDART filmfestival.com. Thanks. So let me get into my observations for my life in 2019. And I'm not going to get into specifics, but I'm going to kind of give you overviews of different things that happened. I started the year feeling really confident and just feeling really good, like really excited. I got a new drone camera. I felt really good about my video production company and social media and all this stuff. And I started with a really good video project from the end of 2018 that was going to take a while. So I was really excited, which is why I got my drone camera. And I was feeling good. I was feeling really positive and really clear. And I was like, I really, really want to like step up my whole video production company, and I like to do videos for companies for them to promote their business or clarify their business or whatever for social media. And that's my favorite thing to do. I love, not favorite in the whole world, but from a business point of view, business to business, I like to do that. So I was feeling really good about it. Like really good. I was like, this is going to be my year. This is takeover, and everything you do has to do with like what you think it's going to be, the dream for the year, and I was so clear on it. And I'm proud of myself because I love that even after all that I've been through, I still had a part of me that was dreaming. After all of the burnout and just complete life destruction, there was something in me that was like, yeah, okay, I really want to do this. And I was like, wow. That's cool. It was a good year. So it's also the year that I started my podcast. And I love this podcast. Oh my God. This changed everything for me. This was really like, it's very grounding for me. And I've said that many times, but it's true. It's like, it's a very, because it makes me stop and have to think about everything instead of just going through life and getting things done and checking things off a list. With the podcast, I really have to like, okay, stop, think about it. What are my observations right now? I guess in a way it's kind of like journaling, but then it's different than journaling too, but it's like journaling. And it's a creative outlet too. So I really enjoy it. So I started my podcast in 2019. I also started a film festival, the Ag and Art Film Festival in Vacaville, California, which is near kind of in between Sacramento and Napa. I'm so lucky that I had two people who really believed in me, who stepped in and just really became part of this dream and this vision. Kathy Rybicki, Michelle Dickey, they were amazing. They brought all of their just their passion and their hard work and their incredible, just the way they are. They're both like so smart and driven and connected to the community. They have a lot of respect. So people were like, oh, if you're doing it, then I want to know more about it. I mean, I could have never done that on my own. Like, we really do need other people. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not kick ass. I kicked ass, but I can't do it on my own. Like, you really do need at least other people, whatever. But then there were also other people in the community who, when I told them why I wanted to start the film festival, we had a couple kind of like mixers beforehand, with key people that we invited just to kind of see if they'd wanted to be part of it. And the people that stepped up and really said, yeah, I want to be part of this. Here's a check. That was unbelievable. It was really great. And I really, really liked that. Obviously. I mean, it was just a great feeling. It was new to me. I've never done anything like that. And I look back, like right after the film festival, I look back and went, what was that? Whenever I manifest something, especially big things, I'm always like, during it, I'm so driven that nothing can stop me to getting to the end. But afterwards, when I look at it, I think, God, what was that? Something was driving me to do that more than just me. Because there's something else going on there. But we'll talk about that more later. Another big thing that happened in 2019 was my film, Soul Providers. Well, it's actually, okay, so I filmed, I think I probably said this on the podcast before, but let's see. After Derek died, he died in August of 2012. A year after that, my first thought was I don't ever want to be creative again. I was really mad at life. I was mad at the universe, God, everything. And I didn't want to put anything good into the world anymore because I felt mad at God or whatever for taking like something good away from me. And I was like, I'm not going to be part of it anymore. So when a year after Derek died, I started getting this feeling to make this creative project. It just came to me as like kind of be abstract. And I looked a lot at people on social media and followed, so if they posted a video or they posted their work or if they posted a quote or something, I would watch it. And so these people kind of helped little by little by just watching them rebuild me. And there's like these people. And so I was thinking about when I wanted to film this, I'm like, I want to film 10 artists and try to capture what those little gems that they put out there that they don't even realize probably that they're doing it. And then put it together sort of in an artistic way and then show it back to them so that they can see. It was sort of started as me wanting to give a gift back to these people. And I did not want it to be, I wasn't picturing film festivals or anything like that. I was just wanting it to be like this. I really don't know. Sometimes you can't analyze it too much and you can't try to figure out the business end and all that other stuff. Like with art, sometimes you just have to let it be what it is and then figure out the rest later. So that's kind of what it was. So I filmed 10 artists. I was starting to feel better about myself because I was starting to reconnect with my creativity, which is where a lot of healing comes from. And it just sort of was waking me up and making me feel not great, but just not as shitty as I had been feeling. And then right when I filmed the 10th person, so I started filming in December of 2013. And then I filmed everybody that month and then January. And then the last person I filmed was in February and I think it was February, January. But then once I was importing the footage into my computer, my brother died unexpectedly in February of 2014. So whatever progress I had made from Derek's death, pretty much, was just gone. It was like the whole ground dropped out. And I really felt like I'm not doing shit anymore, like really. But then I felt this obligation because these people had let me come into their home and film them. And I thought at the very least, let me put something together so I can send it to them. But so I would go through this like, that aha video where he's like slamming against the wall and he's a cartoon or he's real, he's a cartoon, he's real. I have that experience a lot, so I'll refer to that a lot. You'll hear me say that a lot. But, you know, it's like I kind of felt like that. Like 1 minute I would try to be the old positive me, like, oh, let me just do this in my brother's honor and la 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 la. And then 5 minutes later, no, I don't give a shit. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm not doing this. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. So it was sort of like a lot of that back and forth. And so it took me a long time. And so I just started editing, you know, just to edit. And I would have different versions of things. And then I started thinking this could be a good, like docu-series. Like I picture this on, you know, like kind of like an intervention or something, but with artists, you know, and something interesting and sort of, I don't know, something for cable or, you know, like a Netflix or something. So I started editing it in, you know, little 20-minute segments. And then someone that I respect in the film industry, indie film scene, a friend of mine, she suggested that I edit it together into a feature and just edit some of the characters into a feature and use it to introduce myself into the feature film world and the indie film world and stuff. So I was like, because I have worked on a film that's been in festivals as a camera person, you know, with some of my work, but not as the filmmaker. So I was like, that's probably a good idea. But then that became another rabbit hole. So then I was like, you know, which people do I pick? And anyways, blah, 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 another rabbit hole. So basically it got to the point where it was one of those things where I was like, I want to bonsai through this. So I wanted to finish editing it and get it out into the world, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not how I would even want it to be. And even if I make changes later or I do something different, I had to get it out into the world just to move things forward in my life. So then I just finished the edit and I submitted it to a couple festivals. One I did not get into, and the other one was the Valley Film Festival. And in Los Angeles, that's member Tracy Adley. She's not on the documentary team. She told me later because I'm like, did I get in because of you? She's like, no, you got shortlisted. So that means like the documentary screeners that they have didn't know who I was and they put me on the short list and then it got into the festival, which I was very, very happy about. But I was also really terrified. And I'll talk to you guys about that later. But oh my God. It's like, you know, we want our dreams to come true. But then when they do, it's sometimes like, it's so incredibly scary. It makes you feel sick. You're like, oh, I thought my dream was going to feel better than this, but okay. But sometimes, you know, you can build stuff up for too long. And when you finally start to do it, it's just like a hot mess. You know, it's just like, ugh. But you need to do that. You need to get it out into the world. I needed to get my film out just to move me forward as a creative person, as a filmmaker, as a whatever. I needed to just go, here it is. Here's where I'm at right now. I know I can do better. I know I can get more vulnerable. I know I can la la la, but there's a lot of good gems in here. I am proud of this, and I do hope it means something to somebody. And I think by getting it out, I'm going to be able to start to whack away the weeds of what it isn't and be able to see it more clearly and see myself more clearly and make the next step forward as an artist, as a person, and as everything. So I'm very proud of myself that I got that out. Very proud of myself that I made it through that screening. And, okay, so then that's over there. So January, I was starting strong. Let's just recap. January 2019, I was starting strong. My video production company, I was feeling really good about it. And I was like, this is going to be my year. I'm going to have all these breakthroughs. And I also wanted to do online training. I forgot to tell you about that, but that's connected to the video production company. But I was going to do this whole online training thing. I even have my Kajabi and all this stuff and whatever. So, and one day I'll get it together and hopefully it'll be this year and I'll be able to tell you guys about it. And some of you will actually even benefit from it. So I probably shouldn't cut it down, but okay. So they got all that. And then, then I started the podcast and started a film festival and I also screened my film I finished a cut, entered it in a film festival and got it in a film festival and screened it in Los Angeles, in North Hollywood, at Laemmle Theater, and some of the subjects, Anch, Scotty Grand, and Julia Huffman, came to the screening. Sophia Grace and her dad Dominic, they came as well because I met them actually through Anch. And Anch is a jewelry designer, and he's just amazing. He's done stuff for Nicki Minaj and all kinds of other people, and he does amazing work, and he's really positive and real, and I really appreciate him opening up to me on camera. And, he was nervous because he's like, and so was Scotty actually. They were like, well, I've changed so much. And, and I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, I learned even from their reactions to the film because I was like, in my eyes, they've evolved, I think, but not the core of who they are and the way that they look at stuff has stayed the same to me from what they put out there. They just seem more confident and more bold now, but the essence is still the same. But it was interesting. So like, I'm nothing like that anymore. But I think it's probably helpful to see ourselves at another time when we were trying to believe in something and talking about it. I mean, it's cringy sometimes. It's uncomfortable. You're like, oh my God, I remember when I wanted to start that, button business where I custom made weird buttons out of seashells, and I was so into seashells. How embarrassing. Why is that that's so stupid? But you can't cut that part of yourself down because that's the part of you that dreams. It's like a little kid. If a little kid told you they wanted to start a button business made out of seashells, would you tell them that's stupid? No. So you can't do that to yourself. You have to, be loving. You can laugh. I mean, it's good to laugh, but don't be mean, because it's amazing that you want to do something for the world. And you don't even know where these ideas come from. Like look at Spanx. They're like shorts or Bermuda shorts, but they're really tight fabric that women and men wear to hold in all the junk. Well, I mean, I'm sure, that's not a seashell button, but I'm just saying she could make fun of herself and be like, what am I doing with this, stretchy fabric holding people's fat in? This is such a stupid dream. But she's like a freaking multimillionaire now, and it's like millions of people over the world use Spanx and love them and are happy about them, happy that that's an option. So they look a little bit better in their dress at their high school reunion or whatever. So you never know where the purpose of a dream is. So we can't really laugh. But anyways, so I was eager and excited about a lot of different things. And I actually did do things. Starting a film festival is for me, it was a huge thing because I can never do anything small. Like if I just wanted to do, one night, 5 films. Oh, you wouldn't do 5 films in a night. Well, if there's a bunch of short films, you could. But anyways, if I just wanted to do like one weekend at a local community thing and whatever, then it would have been fine. But I didn't do that. I've been going to film festivals, Sundance, Napa, Phoenix Film Festival. What other film festivals I've been to? Well, the Valley Film Festival. God, that's a good question. Anyways, I've been to a lot of film festivals, and I really wanted a film festival that incorporated art, and local food and local wine, because I love that about the Napa Valley Film Festival. So yeah, I really wanted to do that. In Vacaville, there's a lot of, local wineries, and as you have in the Solano County, they've got Solano County, you've got Sassoon Valley, and that's like right over the next valley over from Napa, and it's got, incredible wineries there. And also there's some wineries in Vacaville. And I was like, all right, let's incorporate all this stuff and let's have like a mini Napa Valley Film Festival, but like more of a small town feel, but still upscale. And I don't know, it's like a blend. It's like upscale, focusing on art and agriculture, the importance of agriculture, and supporting small farmers, small dreamers, or big dreams, small farms, big dreams, and also local artists and also international artists. So when I put out the call for entry, getting these films from all over the world was just, I was sobbing at my computer like every day that I would get a film, because it's so exciting that there's a film about a farmer, and then, or there's one called What a Rancher Looks Like from Radio West. And they sent that in, and it was just a little vignette of a young female ranch manager. And it's just that. And then there's the art films. And, that film festival, it really woke me up to... It's interesting to see stuff from the other side. I remember when I worked at a record label in Los Angeles many years ago, which is where I met Dapo, who does the music for the show. I remember when I was an executive assistant and an office manager. And I remember when it was a brand new label also. I just have to say that. It was a brand new label. Like there was 3 executives and me and like a pen. And they started in the Universal building. And so we sort of built the whole company around, whatever. We just built all these systems and we'd have a meeting every day called the 10:15 meeting at guess what time? 10:15. And anyways, and I was running around doing all this stuff. And then I remember when I was interviewing the interns, it really opened my eyes to what I'm like in an interview from the other end, and like what works and what doesn't work. And not like there's this, hard and fast rule across the board, but definitely, I just learned so much. If you've ever been in that situation where the tables have turned, you will learn so much about everything. But so when I was doing the film festival, I learned a lot about film and what really kind of, like there'd be some good films, but they just didn't fit with everything else that we were trying to do. And, but your film, as a filmmaker, your film is helping create the entire flavor of that festival. And so there's a whole kind of, there's guidelines that they're thinking of when they're watching it, and so then I'm going to be thinking of that next time. But I hadn't totally thought about that before finishing my film. I don't think I could have even thought of it. Honestly, I don't even think I could have. I would have been like, there's too many things to think about. But the next edit I do or the next film that I do, I will totally be thinking about that kind of stuff. It's been burned into me about how a screener watching this will be figuring out whether or not this will be good for the festival. And I'm not making it for a festival, but I'm making it with that thought process in mind, not just whether or not it's good or I like it or has good shots in it or, because there's more to it than that. But okay. All right. So that's everything that has been sort of like the big broad strokes of the year. 2019, it was really great. So now I want to talk to you about some messed up things that happened in 2019, because there were like things that sucked big time. Now I want to tell you about a couple things that were really messed up that happened in this year. So I started off, I was really confident. I felt really good. I was really happy. I felt happy and I felt good about things for the first time since definitely before all the deaths and everything. And isn't that interesting though? Think about that. Like I finally am coming back to life after being basically dead myself, not really even being alive, not really being in my body, not caring about life, but somehow moving forward and moving on. And all of a sudden I was kind of feeling hopeful. I was feeling happy. I was feeling good. And the first thing that happened was I had a person that I thought I was friends with completely flip out on me and just be totally mean and horrible. Tell me every horrible thing they hate about me and everything else. And these were things that we had never we never had any problems with it. We never fought about it. Like it was just literally out of the blue. But then it also didn't surprise me because of the type of person they were. And they admitted that they were that type of person and that they burned bridges with people. And I kind of always felt like one day this person is going to do this to me. But I thought it would be out of a disagreement that made sense. I didn't think it would just come out of the blue. But anyways, it happened. And it was really uncomfortable. And it really sucked to have someone that I thought was my friend. And then I actually really liked be so mean, and just basically I felt like they put dynamite all the way around me and just pushed a button. They were trying to destroy me. So it didn't destroy me. It actually really was a huge release for me. To face something really awful, like that's also true for like deaths, like all the deaths that happened. That's the worst case scenario, is someone dying. It's like the worst case. That's the thing you're always like, oh, at least they're okay. Well, at least they're going to heal. Well, at least they're getting the surgery that they need. Well, at least it didn't happen. The person got away from that red, through the intersection, and then the semi ran the red light. Like, you never want to go, oh, no, they went to the intersection and the semi hit them and they're dead. You never want that. Well, when you deal with death of someone very important in your life that's tragic and horrible, that is your reality. Your new reality is the thing that nobody else wants to think about and that you yourself never wanted to think about is now your new reality for the rest of your life. That's now in your world, in your consciousness somehow. So because I had been through like the worst case scenario and experienced the absolute worst possible thing that you can think of in your mind happening, what this quote unquote friend did was minor in comparison to that. Like, probably to them, they probably thought, oh yeah, I'm going to unload on this person. This is going to be it for them. And it really wasn't, because I was just like, oh, that's interesting. That's horrible. It's mean. I don't like it, but it's definitely not going to destroy me. So anyways, escaped out of that situation. But I'm still working on it. And that happened when did that happen? In January, February? No, that happened in March. So that happened in March. And then also on top of that, I had a couple of professional weird situations happen where I turned in a project that I was very excited about. And the client didn't say anything. They just said, oh, okay. Thank you so much. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me know. Because usually with video projects, you turn in the video and the client either goes, oh, I love it. It's perfect. Let's post it. Or they say, can we, show more of blah, blah, blah. Or can we have such and such information at the very end? Or I don't even know. Anything. It could be anything. I mean, it could be something minor to something major, like, I want to see more, green grass, or can we have more fun music, or, whatever. So there was zero feedback, nothing. Okay. So I was like, that's weird in and of itself, especially because I know how this client is. Even though I hadn't worked with them before, I've seen them working in other areas, and they definitely have they know what they want. So I thought either I completely nailed this, which I doubt because it's just too weird. Or they're just they're not telling me anything. And I was like really uncomfortable. I was like, oh my God, why aren't they saying anything? And I thought, Lisa, let it go. Because also the other thing, I'm very intuitive, which plays into my fatal flaw, which we're also going to talk about. I'm going to get really into that because I want to help you figure out what your fatal flaw is. And I'm telling you, I think it might change everything. If people can figure that out, it changes everything. I think. No, it does. Okay. Anyways, so one of my fatal flaws is that because I care about people and I'm intuitive, so I can tell when someone's being dishonest with me, and I can tell when something's wrong. I can tell there's something off. I don't always know exactly what it is, but I can tell. And I think maybe most of us can, but not everybody can, I guess, but I can. So, but I don't know what. I wish I knew all the information, but I just didn't know what it was. Okay, so fast forward to the project never gets released. It's supposed to be released on social media. That's the whole point. It's like promoting something. Not only does it not get released, I'm thinking, well, maybe they're waiting for this particular, they never did talk to me about when they wanted to put it out. Okay, so I didn't say anything. And then they start advertising. I swear to God, this is like, if I could survive this, you can survive anything. I swear to God. This client started advertising, looking for people to be in a video that was the same exact video. I turned in 2 videos to them. The same exact content in those 2 videos is what they were looking for. I mean, I'm serious. And videos that they talked to me about doing in the future after these first 2 videos, I already knew what the concept was and what the content was going to be because we talked about it. And they said, oh, yeah, we'll talk more about that later on in a few months. I'm like, okay. So they never did talk to me about it, obviously. And they just started advertising, hey, we have this video shoot coming up on social media. They were advertising this. So if you know anyone that's this, and this, or if you want to partake in it, this is what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. I can't even tell you the blood that drained out of my body. I was just like, what? And like, remember when I said in January I felt really good and I was like, oh, I'm going to do all this stuff and I feel really good about it. And I'm stepping into my power and my creativity and my professionalism and everything's going to be great. And I kept seeing these ads everywhere. It was sponsored even, on Instagram and Facebook when it says sponsored. I think I could have sworn I saw one of them was sponsored. Maybe I'm not remembering that correctly, but that's how I felt. So, and plus it's like a small world. Like a lot of the people that I work with and that were talking to me about possibly working together were responding and we're now, and then I saw video stills when they were shooting it, and some of the video stills were people that I work with in other areas. So it kind of felt like this I just felt mortified because I'm like, are the people in this, do they know? Because it's a small town, And I had just done these videos and I'm like, and I thought this was going to be a great beginning of a working relationship. No feedback from the client. And so anyways, a couple of people brought it to my attention. They said, I thought, because some people were in my video and they'd say, and the videos that I did for them, and they said, oh, are they doing more videos or is this the video that we shot? And there was confusion. And I was this is when it got into my fatal flaw. I was intuitive. I knew something was wrong in the beginning. Then I knew what they were doing. I knew exactly what they were doing. They were reshooting the videos. And without telling me, they never told me anything that I could change. Like as a professional, you have to be able to talk to, if you hire someone to help you with something, you have to know how to talk to people. You have to talk to them and give them feedback. Even if you don't like it, you have to say something, especially considering you're going to post about it on social media. You have to face that. You have to bite the bullet. And this person did not do that and instead chose to just boldly post about it, not give a shit about how I would receive that. And then I finally just texted them. So this person said, totally gaslighted me and was like, oh no, absolutely not. We love your videos. This has nothing to do with those videos. We plan on releasing your videos, acting like, oh my God, what are you doing? No, it's not even remotely the situation. And I was like, it is for a fact the same exact. You are advertising and doing screenshots for the exact video stuff, not only that I just shot, but also for the future videos that we were talking about. So anyways, they just totally gaslighted me and acted like that is absolutely not what's happening. Don't worry about it. Professionally, hugely negative. It just felt like being shot. And I know I'm very sensitive and I don't have thick skin when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't have whatever it is you're supposed to have to be able to deal with that. I know I don't. But it just made me feel like so insecure, but then also angry. It just made me really mad because they didn't even respect me or have professionalism and just saying, we really want to maybe try a different flavor. I don't know what and I know I still would have felt yucky because I would have been like, oh my God, I did not nail it for them. Because as a provider, that's what you want. I'm not in this to just make money. I really want people to be happy with it. And as people promote it and put it out on their social media or whatever, and they're showing people their excitement and other people's excitement and watching it is what promotes and gives you more business. So it's for a lot of things. It's kind of like, okay, whatever. So the fact that they just sort of gaslighted me and acted like nothing, but then never released the videos was such a huge blow to me personally, inside of me and professionally, that it sort of messed up. It was just so big that for me that I was trying everything. I was trying to meditate and do all these different techniques and try to be confident. And I still move forward and I'm still proud of myself. I still did a really great video project for another client. She was totally happy with it. I got a lot of compliments on it. People were, telling me, "Oh, I really like that video. I want to talk to you about doing video." So it was cool. And so I came back from that, and it wasn't like a complete loss, but it was a tough year. I still feel the remnants of it when I'm talking right now, but I'm happy to say that what I feel right now is so less, so much smaller. So if you're going through something like that, and you feel like this feeling, I don't know how to describe it. I just want to be really honest and transparent with you, because I know that if I feel it, somebody else out there feels this too. But literally, it was like mortified. I was embarrassed that this project that I had put all this energy into and told other people about, and I had people like in the video, you know what I mean? Like it was an involved video shoot. It never came out. So they are like, oh, I mean, like lots of people knew that I did these videos. And so therefore lots of people had to find out that the company never released it. And also they all saw that the company was advertising for the same video we just did for new people to be in the video. I can't even tell you. I mean, what in the hell? Are you serious? I was really, that hurt. That hurt. Oh, that was just like a knife right through me. I was like, and it was just a powerless place to be too, because there's nothing to do about it. People have free will. People can do whatever they want to do. And people don't have to like you, and people don't have to like your work. And they don't have to treat you professionally. They don't have to give you any courtesy, respect or nothing. People don't have to do any of that stuff. They should, maybe, quote unquote, but they don't have to. And a lot of people won't. And that hurts sometimes, especially when you thought you had rapport with the person, you thought you had a friendship with the person, or, a professional friendship. But it's weird. It's really weird. Ugh. I don't know why people do stuff like that. Maybe this person isn't very evolved, and, maybe they come across like they are, and they act like they are, and they look like they are, but they actually aren't. Because if you're really evolved, you wouldn't want you wouldn't want to be dishonest with somebody. You wouldn't want to treat a professional who obviously put their heart into something and really tried to deliver something that would make you happy. You wouldn't want them to doubt themselves. You wouldn't want them to feel yucky about anything. So, you know what I mean? Like if you were really evolved, you would be very kind and conscientious and whatever. So to me, it just means that person's just not evolved. And then I have to let it go. And, I did try to talk to them, and they denied it. So there's nothing else I can do. If a person doesn't want to deal with it, that's their right. They don't have to. But so I limped along after my quote unquote friend tried to destroy me. What is the universe showing me? They're forcing me to look at some people are just going to be shit. Like that's just shitty. No matter how mad you are at someone, you should not want to destroy another person that cares about you. Like, I don't care how mad you are. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a good thing. It's just don't do that. But they did, and I had to listen to it. Just some very mean things that were very personal to me. Totally didn't care. They went there. That kind of friend that just always goes for those low blows, and you're like, thank you, that's nice. So this person is not my friend, and I shouldn't even mention that my friend did this, because that's not a friend. That's like, I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is, but definitely not my friend. So that happened there. Then I had this weird professional thing that I was all excited about, totally gaslighting. Both of these situations were things I wasn't really prepared for, and I had no idea were even on the horizon. And then there was a couple like medium-sized things that happened that are too convoluted to explain, but that were of a similar cloth, cut from the same cloth. Felt the same kind of, it was a repeating sort of betrayal. I think betrayal sounds like a romance novel. I'm trying to think of what the word is, but it's sort of like yucky. All right, so those are the two main things that happened. There were a couple other things that happened that I can't really get into because it's too convoluted and it'll be too lost. But the point is, this was a reoccurring energy throughout 2019 for me, which is the absolute most uncomfortable, disgusting feeling that I never, ever want to feel, that I really try to set up my life so that I don't feel that. I set up my year so that I was going to have a really good year. I invested in some equipment so that I wouldn't have a bad year. Like I really wanted to have this be this year, and I really put all this energy into it and my goals, and I even put them up on the wall, and I would look at them every day, and I was like, yes, I'm on track. Everything's going to be good. So these things happened, and it was not a matter of, well, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going, in the sense of like, keep going with the goals. Because yes, in a way, keep going. But it's also like, what is going on in me that is even attracting some kind of insanity that would ever even be like this? And I'm not saying I'm 100% responsible. I mean, we could go deep down the rabbit hole of like, law of attraction and everything and say, I'm 100% attracted this in. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe it's karma. Maybe it's whatever. Maybe people just suck. I don't know. But it's the devastation that this kind of stuff had on me is where I want to put the focus. Because, when this happened, there's a part of me that just felt like dying. I felt like I wasn't worthy of life in other people's eyes. That's the thing. In my eyes, I'm okay. I'm fine. I know that I'm a valuable person, and that probably on my planet or my dimension, wherever I'm from, I'm totally fine. And I have this whole world of people that think I'm totally fine. But I always feel like in this world, most people just don't get me. But anyway, so yeah, this whole thing, it was just a really disempowering year when it started off with me wanting power. And I think that because I had put that stake out there and said, I want to be powerful, I want to step into my power. I'm ready to like do big things. I'm ready to whatever. And I did. I was executing some kick-ass shit. And I was like, wow, I'm really feeling good about myself. I'm making good decisions, and I'm doing great work, and I love everything, and blah, blah, blah. The universe met my energy with the opposition to that. And it was a big year. I mean, I learned a lot. By executing things that were new and putting myself out there, even though it was positive, I learned a lot. And also having these big blows and big things happen, it really revealed an area of myself that I always feel subtly exists in me, but was pushed to the forefront and was glowing and bright. And I saw it, and I was like, what is that? What is that thing in me that's reacting so deeply to this? And I can't stop it from having this deep reaction. What is that? So that whole thing is what I'm going to be examining, and sort of what's been part of my current breakthroughs. Honestly, I've been having massive breakthroughs because of this. So I'm grateful that these things happen, because it really just revealed to me something that's always in me that I believe stops me from manifesting my dreams. Truly, I realized something huge about me, and something that I always do to myself that it's so automatic I don't even really understand it. I just think that I get disinterested and foggy-headed and I don't really remember it. But because it happened so publicly this year, to me, I have had to really look at this and really figure it out. And so I'm going to share with you my insights in one more. I have 2 podcasts for the end of 2019, 2 podcast episodes. This one, and then the next one, I'm going to talk to you about what I realized that holds me back every single time, every year, with my resolutions from probably since I was like a teenager. This is a big revelation, seriously. And I'm going to share that with you. And I'm also going to try to get you to think about what may be holding you back from your breakthroughs. If you feel like you're repeating yourself every single year, every year you write down your goals and they're the same exact goals as the last 5 or 10 years or 5 years, whatever, there's a reason. Number one, it shows that these things are important to you. Unless they're not, maybe they're not important to you. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe you need to look at it and say, is this really important to me, or am I just dragging this forward every year? Like, what is really important to you? And then the second thing is, it's on your list because you haven't achieved it yet, and you're not letting it go until you do. And so let's figure out if there's anything on that list that's maybe something that keeps coming back, but that you haven't been able to break through on yet. It's raining. It's raining today. I always feel like I'm recording my podcast when it's raining. It's kind of weird. But it's a beautiful, gray, rainy, misty day, and I love it. It's very good. Right before Christmas, and I'm really thinking about, my breakthroughs in this last year, and I'm really focusing on my love for myself. Like if I was a character in a movie, I would be like, oh my God, I love that character. She's the bomb. She keeps going no matter what. I always admire that about people that, even when I go through things where I'm getting annoyed with them, whatever, like a public figure, I admire people who keep going and who allow themselves, people are going to publicly ridicule them, but how are they ever going to have a breakthrough or evolve if they don't keep going? If they let people say, well, that's the mistake you made, or that's because you're acting weird lately, or, like bloggers or famous people, like they start to get kind of weird and we go, oh, yep, they're done. But then they just keep going and you're like a part of me sometimes goes, why does that person keep going? Don't they know that people don't like them? Like, it's a mean part of myself, but it does come out. I'm thinking, why? But then I'm secretly like, good. And then I see them like looking better and doing better. And I'm like, this person's really like coming back around, I find it so interesting how people put themselves out there, mostly women, and how they don't let people's criticism stop them from being vulnerable, being genuine, and keep going out there, keep trying, keep putting yourself out there. Not trying, but just keep being, not letting anyone stop you from being. Yeah, whatever. Maybe 2019 was a hot mess for you. Maybe 2019 was yet another year of bullshit. Or maybe it was more like my 2019 where it was a little bit more public. And you're like, I mean, it wasn't public like Atricia Paytas public, but it was public in my little world where I am. And it felt very kind of yucky. But you know what? That doesn't identify me. That's not the end all to me, Lisa Murray. That's just my experience, something that happened in this year. And guess what? That does not define me. And just like your stuff doesn't define you, whether you haven't been able to succeed at something forever and ever and ever, that still doesn't even define you. And I don't care what anybody says. People who say stuff like that can, go away, because seriously, that is crazy. Nobody has the right to say, well, you didn't do it, so you're not going to do it. You never know. And besides, it doesn't matter. Just keep going. It doesn't even matter. Don't even entertain it. Don't even fight them on it. Don't waste your energy trying to explain to people that you can do it or you will do it, because those people that you have to explain that with, it doesn't matter. And they're not going to believe you anyways. And you just need to go out there and just keep being you and love yourself for being you, even in the times when you're not doing everything quote unquote perfectly or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're you and you're awesome. And you just keep trying, and you're a nice person, and you care about the world. You care about animals. You care about the planet. You're a good person. Okay. Just keep going. Keep putting your art out there. Keep putting your dreams and ideas out there. Just keep going. You're going to get to where you want to be. And in a way, you're already there. You're already there because you know what? You're the type of person that's going for it. And imagine that you're holding the little kid of you, little boy, little girl's hand, and the little girl or little boy of you has this dream. Can you hear the rain? It's cleansing away our past and our judgments. But, I always think sometimes when I'm being really hard on myself, I try and I can't. When I'm in the depths of it, I can't really picture this. So when I'm getting a little bit out of it, I try to picture this. But picture the part of you that has the dream as a little kid looking up at you, saying that that's what they want. How would you treat that kid? Would you go, well, too bad, we tried and we weren't able to do it. So, start thinking about what kind of job you want to have in about, 10 or 15 years. And they're like, what? I mean, we wouldn't do that to a little kid. Why would we do that to the little kid inside of us? Why would we do that to ourselves? We shouldn't. Keep going. Even if you don't know what you're doing and you think it's weird, keep going. Because you know what? It'll become clear as you go along. You'll get stronger as you go along. And honestly, the new world that we live in with technology, with social media, with cell phones, with all this stuff, everything's constantly changing. And so the only way to do this is to get into it and just keep going. We just have to become the kind of people that can move and be flexible and handle anything that happens, anything. So that was a big challenge for me this year. I was like, yeah, I put myself out there. I was a little bit more public with stuff. I was bold. I was bright. I was positive. And then I got sucker punched in the center, and I recoiled, and I wanted to get away from the world, and I was so uncomfortable, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. So it was obvious. You could tell something was wrong with me all year. Like if you really knew me, you could tell that I was completely like not myself. No matter how hard I tried to pretend like everything was okay, it wasn't. And I still had to keep going. And then now that I'm having some kind of awareness and breakthrough, I'm starting to feel better again. So some people are probably watching that going, oh, so now she seems all clear and confident again. Like, yep, that's right. And then sometimes I'm foggy and weird. And sometimes I'm positive and hopeful. And, it's all part of who I am. Just like all the different things that who you are is who you are. So, yeah, that's it. Just keep going, man. So next week, we're going to start really getting into the nuts and bolts of like looking at the fatal flaw, how I realized what mine was. Just look it up. I'll put some stuff on the website. I have dreamsdammit.com for the show notes. And I'll put a little bit of information there about a fatal flaw and the road back and what all that means so that you can kind of be a little bit prepared for next week. But yeah, so we're going to talk about that. And then I really want to like really get your brain in the right position, your consciousness in the right position so that when you're stepping into the new year, you're feeling good about whatever comes your way. And that you're not feeling bad about not having achieved something by a certain point. Okay? But I still want you to be driven and not ignore your dreams. I still want you to like focus on your dreams and think about your dreams and be like, this is important to me because it is important. There's a reason why this stuff keeps coming to you. It's important. It's connected to your happiness and your sense of peace. And that is vital. So you can't give it up. You need to figure this out. This is a Rubik's Cube from, the depths of all things. You have got to figure this out. And we're going to do it together. I don't exactly know how, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And we're going to figure it out. But I hope you guys are well. I hope you have a very good Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever it is that you celebrate, or even if you don't celebrate. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season and that the stores don't drive you too crazy. And that you stay calm and try to put out the energy that you would want in return. So if you're finding yourself pushing through the shopping carts in the place and getting angry, just try to maybe stop and let people go in front of you and be the opposite of what you're thinking you need to be. I do that with cars sometimes. So I start getting really angry and then I go, wait, let me just let someone out. Let me just calm down. So, all right, you guys. Well, I've missed you and I look forward to furthering this show and my connection to the listeners, you, in the next year. And I really appreciate everyone who listened in 2019. This was such a huge dream of mine for so long to have this podcast. And I'm so glad I put it out there. It felt so good. And then to hear from people, getting a review. I think I've only got like 5 reviews right now on iTunes, but I'll take them because they're like really cool. It's so neat to hear from people. It's totally the Horton Hears a Who moment. All of a sudden you hear from someone and they're like, yeah, we hear you. And you're like, what? Oh my God, so amazing. So, all right, you guys, I will see you next week. Take care of yourself. Look up Fatal Flaw. Look up Road Back. I have dreamsdammit.com. Talk to you later. For show notes and for links and for anything else, sign up for our email newsletter. You can find all that at ihavedreamsdammit.com.